Yeah, we are here with侯逸凡, and yeah, pleasure to have you here. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're here in Madrid, and I was just curious, like, what brought you here and what you've been doing the past days, how you like it?
We came to Spain at the end of July, where there are a few activities held in different cities in Spain. And this is a very warm for summer, so we're very happy to be here in Spain for some chess promotions, and also we are here today for this video.
Cool. Yeah, really great to have you here. And yeah, well, I saw that you were traveling with your mother, and I've heard that for many young chess players, like their parents are a very important part in allowing them to focus on chess and succeed. So I was just curious, like, how you would describe the relationship with your mother and what it means for you.
Yeah, my parents and my mother are performing a very important role in my life since a very young age, for example. Of course, the parents is our first teacher when we were born, because when we came to this world, the parents told us the first thing, the first sentence, the first word, and everything the first to us.
Yeah.
And later on, due to my specific experience, especially my mother, she was helping me a lot, because when I was at 7 years old, I traveled to another province for chess learning. And my mom at that time already decided to kind of temporarily pause her job and accompany me for my chess studying. And later on, she also accompanied me to different chess tournaments, was helping me and talking with me. That it's very helpful not only for the daily life but also for your psychological part. And sometimes she's even talking some chess with me. I mean, although she's not a professional chess player or even not a coach, just that she can play chess. But sometimes, you know, from another person's perspective, she could even discuss with you some experience. How can you adjust yourself to a better state, performance like that. And also I should also mention my father, who's not accompanying me quite often, but also quite important, because normally he stay at home. It's like our very strong back supports, you know. Although he was also traveling with us to a very few tournaments, not so often, because he has his job in China.
Of course. Okay. Very interesting. It's always good to have this really strong support, I think.
I think the support from your parents or, let's say, very close relatives are always important. Nevertheless, we should also mention that besides the parents, the coaches, the friends, and your even for me, even other many chess people are very important for my chess achievements.
Yeah, of course, it reinforces each other. But like, since you mentioned like your childhood, I was curious, like, so you were able to focus a lot of your life onto chess, and I'm wondering, like, how long does a person like you then study in the, you know, when you were 5, and then how did it evolve over time?
I started when I was 5 years old. At that time, I remember each week, probably only once, maximum twice, we go to like a children's palace. Actually, there's a coach who was an amateur chess player, and we just went there to learn chess. Calling learn chess, but mostly we were just playing with each other, because at that time we were just having very few chess books, and among them one was a very ancient chess dictionary. Yeah, exactly. Okay, later on when I moved to another province to learn chess, that coach was very important from my childhood, because he brought me exactly to a chess world and taught me some fundamentals about chess, some basic, not the basic rules, just like some principles you need to know, and how can manage better for the different chess period, like opening, middle game, end game, like more systematic, more theoretical.
When was that?
When I was 7 years old, I moved to another province, because that coach, he was a strong chess master, grandmaster, but he retired at his best age, like 20-something, because he thought he couldn't be the world champion, I mean the men's world champion, but probably he will teach someone and his students would be the next world champions, you know. So that's quite appreciate that I could have met this coach, and seriously entering into the chess world. And then later on, when I was at 9 years old, I went to our national team center where the top Chinese players are gathering together at that moment. And I also met few very, very important coaches who is our national team's chief coach, and also who was the women's team's coach. And they also helped me a lot, not only with the chess technical skills, but also they are offering me opportunities to participate in a strong chess tournament over the world. Since then, I think in 2005, I could play for the country, for actually my first important international tournament for the country, the team tournament. It's called the World Team Championship. It's for men's. And the Chinese women's team is the only women team who can participate in that tournament due to some, I think, specific limitation. So that's very unique, you know. I really appreciate for that special experience. It helped me a lot. Although that tournament I played badly. I was only guessed to play 3 rounds because we were having 6 players and each time 4 could get played to reserves. Okay, at that time I was very young, only 11 years old, so I'm still not mature enough, not strong enough, you know, to really play for the team, to fight for a win. Okay, so back to the question, when I was training, I think back to a few years ago, before I went to my university, so normally it could be like 4 or 5 hours per day, except the weekends. And the weekends probably be less. But of course, if we are before the important tournament, we'll have a preparation, and that could be even longer. But when I was young, especially before going to the National Training Center, so that was not as much as this one. It could even be not every day.
Okay. That's like, I always thought like you have to do like 13 hours a day or so to reach the level that you're at.
I also heard that some very, very strong chess players, great chess players, they're spending a lot of time on chess. But for me, I'm kind of style that not spending too much time. But when I was learning this, I can fully concentrate. I mean, be quite efficient. And I'm not that kind of hardworking that really wants to put myself very hard on chess. Since I'm having also some other hobbies, which I hope to make my life more colorful.
Okay, and which were those? Like, can you tell me more about that?
For example, like reading, like this when I was very young, beginning with many classical books. And later on, I was also liking the detective books, some
books, you said?
Yeah, detective books, and history books, biography.
I love biographies. Nice, very interesting. I was wondering, so I mean, I'm the CEO and the founder of tradimo, where we teach people a lot about learning to manage their money themselves in a better way. And we have a mobile game where we help people learn about the stock market. So our goal is to bring the best coaches of the financial world together in one online school, and then help people learn from there. So I was wondering, like, how you would describe your relationship with money, like which emotional relationship you have with it, or what it means for you in your life. Because as a chess player, of course, you earn a lot of money with it, but you also have a lot of potential to do a lot of other things. And is it then more your love for things that drives you, or is it like also monetary considerations? I was just very curious about that.
It's actually not an easy question, and I didn't really think about it seriously before, because there are many important things in our life, like friendship and love and dream and many wonderful things. But of course, if you back to the normal daily life, the money is we need the money to survive, to back to the very principal line. But for me, how to say, I mean, money is not something that very important to change my values. I mean, my value is not based on it. So it's kind of just like a necessary element for your daily life.
When you say your values, like what are those? What really matters to you then? I know it's a very difficult question.
Well, my values of, well, was, yeah, of course I wanted to achieve my, okay, at that time we can call dream. And my dream actually changed quite quickly.
Yeah.
I remember at some moment probably I even want to be a detective.
Yeah, of course.
And of course later I wanted to be the great one of the strong chess players. And I coincidentally find that there's some similarity between two things, because both needs our theoretical thinking. Probably you need to think very far away until the future, and then step by step going back and to the current, what kind of things you need to do. So when I was young, the dream is quite influenced my value a lot. But currently they are more combined with what I said before, like the families, friends, love, and your, let's say, not the dream, but your goal for your future career. This is also very important because we need that to support you to keep going on your own way.
I find that very interesting to think on the one hand side, like very long into the future and have vision and dreams, and on the other hand, bring it back to what do I need today to make that happen.
Yeah, exactly. I think chess, for example, to be a chess player, when you're calculating at the current position or you are making your own strategy, you need this thinking. So that's why I found it very coincident one day. Just it's actually one of my reasons to, okay, we call it research, but just a small idea.
I find it very clever because I think it's one of the common elements of success in anything. Like when you look at what like success theory in general, like setting goals and breaking it down into small goals and starting where you are right now and knowing yourself. So
yeah, I think that's also the benefit that the chess could give me, because of course I'm not concluding it words by words, it's through my experience, but it came from where? From chess, from the playing chess, from practical tournaments, so I could get this idea. And it could, I believe it will be very useful for many other aspects as well.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. I've listened to a podcast interview where someone asked you if you were thinking that you'd become rich through playing chess, and you said like, not really, like look at the tax rate in China and what you get as a woman for winning a tournament. But like now that you've won like a lot of tournaments and also like some endorsement deals and things like that, like especially for your age and considering what you could normally earn in a normal job or like more normal job, like a lot of people would consider you rich and like on a monetary level, otherwise in general, of course as well. So I'm just wondering, like, what you're doing with the money, like if you're investing it already in some ways, or like if you consider currencies, stocks, or commodities like gold or real estate, or if you consider yourself like a complete beginner in all of this. And like I heard once that you, in one interview, you just said like, my mother takes care of it, I don't know anything about it. Like if that has changed in the meantime, that the money has become more.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure that exactly what video it is, but I believe it must be like at least a few years ago. I could imagine that at that time probably I will express like this, very straight but very easy. Okay. Well, first of all, talking about rich, I thought at least chess players, to be a chess player among the athletes, we cannot say that we are having a very promising income, especially talking about the women players, because if we can play the top main events, to be the top 10 chess players over the world, it could be kind of promising. But for women's player, even you're playing like World Championship match or the elite event, is still, okay, we admit that probably it's a little bit better than quite a normal job, but nevertheless it's still far away to reach the rich level. And for me, although sometimes I'm participating in some invitational tournament or some activities, it's just something not fairly good, but reasonable, we could call like this way. Although in this situation we still need to think how to manage our incomes. It's actually quite important, especially to be a chess player. Sometimes especially most of the chess players I met are proud about their strategy, about their management. So for money, I believe that we should also learn something in case to better manage our incomes. And for this situation, I think I'm still kind of beginners. Although now it's not only my parents who's taking care of all the prizes or whatever it is, but still, I mean, I'm just kind of more focusing on my study, my chess, and not spending so much time on learning it or practically manage it by myself very, very carefully. So I hope So I still hope that probably I will improve those skills in the near future, since it's actually very important.
Okay, yeah, great. Now we look forward to helping you with it. Like some of your chess fans and journalists have asked me to ask you like this question, and I added it because I found it quite interesting. It's about the role of women in chess and kind of the psychological side of it. Basically, in me from a financial perspective, like when learning about trading and investing, people say that it's something that mostly men seem to be interested in doing, but actually from a psychological perspective, women are better at it, or because they are more humble, they don't overestimate themselves so much, they don't want to beat the market at every, when the market goes against a man, he feels like I'm gonna beat it, and but women, I'm generalizing, they are a bit more risk averse and humble, and so in trading you need to successfully cut your losses when it's not going well, and be fine with letting it run when it goes well, and not becoming too excited by it. So I was wondering if there's if you'd agree with that, or how it relates to chess, because there I heard in other interviews people saying I'm going to destroy my enemy and so on. Then I wonder if you have that attitude while going into a game, if it kind of distracts part of your brain while you're concentrated on beating the enemy instead of playing your game, playing the way that would be best for the performance.
Since I'm not really familiar with financial world, so I believe what you're saying is quite true. But for the chess world, I see actually the opposite. Probably, yes, the men are more more strong, more aggressive, to think that I'm the not center of the world, but I want to be the strongest person. But actually for chess players, I thought they are more practical. Sometimes even the women players who really wants to fight for a win has a fighting spirit, very strong fighting spirit. But for the men players, sometimes they will play the game meets for the term situation. For example, if they are playing the last round and only a draw will bring them the champion, so they will play actually quite stable, quite solid. And sometimes even they are not playing so good and already no hope to win the tournament, they can feel like, oh, I'm not in the best shape. So probably this time they will also not fight strongly. So I see this as practical chess player. But for women, sometimes, at least for me, it's like this. Even the situation is not so ideal, I still wanted to fight for every game in case to just focus on each chess move, every game to show the best quality, trying to fight for a win like this. So I don't know, probably this is also the negative side for women's players in case to become more stronger, because sometimes we are more emotional and cannot judge with objective sides.
Okay. Yeah, that was the other thing I was wondering about, what you think it would take for you to break into the top 10, for example, of the world. What you would change about the way you play.
I think there are a lot of ways I need to change or improve. And generally speaking, just I need to be more professional. It could include I should spend more time on chess, and my training should be more systematical, whatever the opening, middle game or end game. I think each part I need to improve. Also some theoretical training is also important. And also I think in case to enter top 10, I also need to have a very, very strong belief to entering that because you know sometimes even something seems like a miracle. Talking about this, I remember I read a story that a mother suddenly saw that her young daughter are very close to a car which is coming by, and it's like 2 meters. I don't remember the exact number, probably 2 meters. And normally even with the fastest speed, you cannot catch the daughter. But because this is a very dangerous situation, so the mother miraculously trying to do it and to catch her daughter to the safe place. So that means under some very specific, very urgent situation, your potential is over your estimation or imagination. So for chess, or even talking about my situation, it's same. If you're really having strong desire to enter in which level, probably one day you could do. But of course, this is not only depends on your thinking. You need really to work hard, work a lot.
Of course, yeah, but it's a very healthy attitude, I think, like with that kind of mixture of realism, humility, and strong will, you'll make it very far in any area, anyways.
Yeah, not easy because you also need to think and to balance with your life, and also you need to train for the psychological part, the physical part. Talking about this physical part, I thought this is also very important, especially for women players if they wanted to become better. Because sometimes the chess games last for 6-7 hours without any break. So at this moment you need a very good physical situation in case to fully concentrate for the 7 hours with enough brain energy. We can call like this,
Okay. Yeah, of course, like working out for that as well.
If you're getting tired, even yourself didn't notice that, but the mistakes, the blunders are more easily to appear over the board.
Yeah, I guess it's actually true also in all areas of life. Like, you know, somebody who invests their money and with the click of a button can win or lose $10,000 or so. Then if you're doing it with the wrong energy level at the end of the day, it can be very bad. Like I've made very bad decisions when I was like somehow stressed in another area of my life, or like didn't sleep enough, for example. Then I could see like losing $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 because of that.
So it could see that another similarity between investment and chess.
Yeah, it actually is. So having your life balanced and being psychologically and physically well, there's something true about that. Like you already elaborated on it a little bit, but like how would you call your style in chess? Because I'm curious if from that we can do something for your investment style, what it would be, if it would be like, you know, more aggressive, more defensive, or like reactionary, or really proactive.
Well, in chess, when I was young, definitely I'm kind of aggressive player who likes to attack, who likes beautiful chess games, who likes combination. But currently I see my style is more combined. I cannot say that now I prefer solid. Still, personally, I like to watch the game with brilliant combination, brilliant tactics. But sometimes due to the tournament situation or due to the players, my style is kind of combined in the middle. Not so aggressive and also not so passive.
Cool.
And you remember what we discussed before? It's like the difference between investment and chess is about the style from man and woman. So probably at some moments it could also be opposite.
And I think for a portfolio, like that would be a very good approach. Like a lot of people there, like in the West, like where I'm from, in Germany, people are much too conservative. Like they would rather keep the money on their bank account and get like minimal interest rate for it just to be safe. And the opposite, like from what I've heard about the typical Chinese investment style, it's still a little bit like in the...
Enthusiastic.
Very enthusiastic, like in the US, maybe in the 1920s. You know, like a bit like that everyone thinks this will go up, and that also makes something go up, and then more people go into it and it goes up and up. And then I heard about this crazy story where now a stock went up 1,500% in one day, and then also down again by 750%. And like for a normal mindset, if you were fully invested in the stock, it would be absolutely crazy suddenly to have 15 times your money and then to lose half of it again. And it has the potential to really drive you quite mad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Actually, that's true. That I also heard the story in China. Many people are fascinated in the stocks or the investment market. In one side, it's really good, but the other side, because of this tendency, it attracts many ordinary people who's just having a normal job to go into this market. But this really to be serious, I heard that many people because of this, and they kind of lost their whole savings, jobs, and it could be going to a very negative way. So you really need to find the point to balance. Of course, we should have instill the element necessary for something in our life, but you should be objective to think what to do is the best situation.
Yeah. I think you as a chess player will be good at that.
Yeah, because talking about this, it reminds me, talking about your investment style, it also depends on how much money you could use flexibly.
Yeah.
Like you could admit whatever it's with green or with red.
Yeah, it's true. Like you can have some discretionary trading account, something that you use more for long-term saving for your pension,
exactly.
And some risky part where you really want to grow it aggressively. So many people, many world-leading experts that I know, they have like 2 or 3 portfolios and different styles with each. So you have a big love for the game of chess in general, and like you're interested in the world around you. Like I met you as a very curious person and very open. So I'm wondering, like, which other issues, like, you kind of could imagine popularizing or helping people with next to chess, like, because you have a popularity now with like hundreds of thousands of followers in social media and so on. So in a way, you have like some, like in Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. So like, what do you have in mind to use it for?
I understand. Of course, since I'm a chess player for more than 15 years, of course, first of all, I hope to use my influence or my experience to encourage more people, especially the young girls, to join our chess world or to be an athlete, because I thought it's really important, even if you are not going to be a professional player, but even to having this hobby, it will be useful for your future life. So this actually also connected with the thing. Probably I also interested in the future, probably for part-time, that to promote women's chess or women's sports in general for the whole world. Because in the past years or many years ago, whatever the chess or the sports considered to be the best is the men players, and the girls, the parents mainly wants them to learn more elegant stuff like dancing, music, or even the sports. You probably prefer the gymnastic or something more solid, more stable, more like a girls want to do,
something traditionally associated with femininity.
Yes, exactly. But I would like to say that chess is not only a sport, but also can consider to be an art, an educational tool, or even a language. Because, for example, if we're talking each other, we're not having the same language, but through playing a chess game, we can feel like, you're attacked player and I'm more solid, and we could feel like your personality, And besides,
really beautiful.
and besides the chess, I also hope that, this was also discussed before, that the financial part, the investment. I also hope that I could influence more people to pay attention on the investment, on how to manage your income, your money, because I think in the real life, this is actually quite important. It connected to the question before you asked me that how I consider the money to be the role in my life. So I thought that since we need it. We need it for daily life, so we'd better to learn some way how to deal it with a perfect way.
Yeah, I agree. And in the school system, it's often very underrepresented. People don't properly learn about it.
Yeah, exactly. From my experience or what I heard in China, before university, there is no class talking about investment, financial or economics. I have no idea about European countries or US countries, and only until the university we are having these departments, majors, but even though this is not like every student needs to learn, because we require to learn like computer, English, politics, but there's among these lists there's no investment, no economics. So I believe that in the future more and more countries, universities will pay more attention on it.
Yeah, beautiful. So next to playing chess, you finished your entire studies, I was just curious, like, what did you study and what are your plans with it now?
Okay, I actually just graduated this summer at the beginning of July, and my major was international relations. Although it sounds like quite a political major, but actually it contains also the economics, international law, and some philosophies as well. Definitely some fundamental things, but actually it's quite a mixed major that we could absorb a lot of general information from different subjects. So for me, I thought it's quite useful.
Yeah.
Because for bachelor 4-year studying, instead of learning something very specific, for me the more important thing is that I could learn something. I could really learn something, although it's fundamentals, but it could be helpful for my future life, and it could also open my horizons.
Yeah.
And talking about the future plan, besides continuing my chess career to improve my ratings, I'm also hoping to have my master study, mainly abroad. But since the last World Championship match was postponed from original dates to this year, so it's kind of broke my original plan. So that's why I didn't have enough time to do my application for the master study. So currently I will take at least a gap year, or probably even more than 1 year, in case to prepare, but mainly to focus on chess and doing some other interests or studies or activities.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned like that you were also interested in like social activities and like benefiting other people and doing like social work in China. Like, in which areas is that? Like, is it also in women encouragement or?
Social activity, yes, and also I'm thinking also to do something to promote chess, not only focus on the woman, but
what you mentioned.
Yeah, probably also trying to see whether chess can be useful for other parts as well. For example, to encouraging the specific a group of people, or to trying to think its educational function, or it could be quite broader, you know.
Cool. And and that, like, now that you will dedicate more time to chess, like, what would mean more to you, crossing 2,700 or winning another women's world championship title?
Well, definitely the first one is more important for me from my point of view, and I believe that probably most of the spectators could guess in that, because I've already won 4 times women's world champion. Of course, it proves that at least for this period I'm keeping my level. But with 4, 5, or even 6, I didn't see the huge difference between the numbers. Although it shows that you are still one of the best players, at least for the women's section. But for me, the more important is to improve my rating, to become more strong, more compatible in the top events, in the open fields. So how to become that? How to become that level for chess player? So the general thing is to improve your rating, because the rating was calculated by each game. If you win, you gain few points. If you lost, then you lost few points. So you need to be more stable to achieve good results in a long period, and then your rating could be jumped to a higher level. And for me, I don't know why, but there's a very coincident facts that, for example, back to 5 or 6 years ago, I was hesitating around 2,600 or 550, I don't remember. And then each 50 points, I will be hesitating there for at least a few months or even 1 year. And currently, I'm in the level about 2,650 or 60, and it's already another year. So I hope that I could make this jump in the near future.
Okay. Did that also influence your decision to drop out of the some of the women's tournaments, or was that purely a political statement?
No, that statement was nothing to do with political for sure, and this is mainly based on my chess career. Because why? Oh, currently, by the way, I'm just dropping out from Women's Grand Prix. There's no other women's tournaments. But I'm also not playing the Women's World Championship knockout system. Why? Why I'm doing this decision? Because I was winning the World Champion when I was 16. So it's already like 6 years ago. And later I was winning the matches 3 times. And also I'm the general winner for the Women's Grand Prix cycle since it was established from 2009. So I think all these results at least proved that my result was stable, at least for the women's section. And still, still like every year, since I'm not playing the knockout system, if you want to play the match to be the world champion, then you need to qualify from Grand Prix to be the overall winner. Then you could be the challenger to challenge the world champion actually who was just won the knockout system. And for these few years, the winner of the knockout system are actually at least a little bit surprised the spectators because they're not the rating favorites. They're not even the people that's before the tournament it's expected to be the winner. So all this to see that we could see the women's system could be improved to a more reasonable situation. And we also should mention that currently the men's system and the women's system are different. And from my point of view, I believe also many other chess people's point of view, the men's system are more reasonable. Because they have a World Cup and then they have a candidates tournament. From these 2 very compatible tournaments, then you could challenge the current winner, current world champion, who was the winner from last match. So I think with all this system, the strongest player, the more worldwide chess player could play for the fight for the title. And also we can see from different sports, whatever the Olympic sports or the mind games or whatever, most of the games, the men's system and the women's system for the world champion are totally the same. So I think the chess shouldn't be an exception in this for this part. Because I mean, it could give me a feeling that the women's sport is not as in the same level with men's sport. So that's why we're having a different system. So I think it should be the same.
I agree.
So that's why having all this in mind, then I decided not to follow this cycle for another 2 years or 4 years, because I'm not like, okay, I won first time, this year I won, so I hope that next year it will change. I could get some benefits, some privileges. But since I've been under this cycle for already 6 years, so I thought probably this is the right time to propose it. It's not only for myself, also for the general promotion, especially for women's chess, because we need to find a more reasonable way. Because, for example, now we are talking the current system. Even some chess players, some strong grandmasters, they are confusing, said, what? Why you still need to be the challenger? Why you're not the current world champion? They still kind of get confused with this very, very complicated system. So I think in case for promotion, for more spectators to join our world, can understand, we should make a simplified version.
Makes absolute sense. Cool that you stand up for that. Basically, so we at tradimo, we now want to help you learn more about the world of finance and help you master all your financial situation yourself. And so, like now at the end of our interview, I was wondering which are the topics that you want to learn more about, like if we design now a learning plan for you and where also your fans can participate and so on, like what would be most interesting for you to learn about?
Actually, I thought we mentioned before that I'm kind of the real beginner for this investment area. So for this question, Suddenly, I don't have a clear idea, but the first thing came to my mind, for example, it could be like how to manage your incomes, because not only to spend what kind of amount on which area for savings, for education, for the real estate or whatever, it's mainly about like if you want to do an investment, in which area, like for what kind of market, the stocks.
How to divide it between different
Yeah,
ways of
how
investing?
to divide it is also important, but also to knowing more about each marketing, then to think that which marketing probably more suits for my profession.
Okay. Yeah.
And because I believe not everyone could participate in every field, so we need to pick a field or just one to suit our profession quite well. It could depend on your energy, for your time on that, because for example, if stocks, if you're quite busy and don't know it, you couldn't just be really focused on stocks, so you need something that takes you less time, but it could also be stable, and it would make sense, make some efficiency. And also, since we are traveling around the world playing tournaments, so I'm also interested about the different currencies, about how to manage those currencies in a better way to combine in a perfect situation.
It's a very interesting topic at the moment, because all the different central banks are having different strategies, and especially in your country, and the yuan or renminbi, it could change dramatically in value in the future if there's less central bank intervention. So yeah, it will be very interesting.
Then I'll be even more looking forward to this topics.
Yeah, I think we can design a very interesting plan for you.
Okay, great.
Cool. Well, then thank you very much for the interview.
Okay, thanks.
It was a really big pleasure.
Okay, nice talk with you.